Hey, welcome everybody, and good morning, as opposed to good evening, but welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping. It's where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. We are in the middle step of the sweet spot of summer racing in the United States. Last week we were at Arlington. Today we are at Del Mar for the Pacific Classic. Next week we're going to be over at Saratoga for I believe it's the Whitney or the Travers.
Travers,
Travis.
And
Travers, Kings Bishop, so on.
there we go. So again, today we are at Del Mar for the Pacific Classic. The pick four starts with race number 8. It finishes in race number 11. There are two stakes races in there, including the Grade 1 Pacific Classic. It's a win and you're into the Breeders' Cup Classic. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts, Mr. Ray Torado, who as always he joins us from Staten Island, New York. Ray, I've got a great trivia question this week because we're really seeing some classy horses today. If I gave you an unlimited amount of money and a time machine, and you could go back in time, and you could pick one horse that would be associated with the Torado family, who's your horse?
One horse?
One horse.
Oh, man.
No restrictions on time. You could go back and
You know
you
what?
can pick the Great Man of War. His Secretariat could be the Torado family horse.
I would have to say Holy Bull.
Holy Bull.
I love
All
that
right.
horse.
All right. And from Temecula, California, I'm going to give Joe English that exact same choice. So, Joe, you've got a time machine. You've got you've got like Kenneth Ramsey money. You can go back there and you can pick out any horse you want. Who's the English family horse?
Wow, that's a real tough question. Just off the top of my head, I'd have to probably go say Native Dancer.
Awesome.
I mean, 20 for 21. I mean, I'd love to have that horse to go to the track and pretty much know every time out the horse is going to win. Yeah, that would be pretty fun to have.
That'd be kind of cool. All right. Now we are going to turn our attention to Del Mar Racetrack in Solano Beach, California. Now, once again, we're currently looking. We actually have someone who's going to be doing our weather for us. So hopefully you will soon stop seeing Richard the weather girl here. We'll have somebody much better looking and much more professional. But for right now, Rich is going to continue to handle it. I will tell you that me and Joe are just about 45 to maybe an hour away from Del Mar to the north, like that. There is absolutely zero chance whatsoever of rain today. It is in all likelihood about 90 to 95 at Del Mar Racetrack. It is going to be insanely hot. It is going to be a beautiful day, and there are going to be tons of beautiful people at Del Mar, including 66% of the Three Broke Guys. We are sending Joe English and Rich Sharp down there today to hit this pick four for you guys. So we have a total of 11 races on tap for today. We've got two grade ones in our pick four sequence. For tonight, we are focused on that pick four. It begins in race number 8. It concludes in race number 11. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded. Shall we go ahead and get started?
Let's go.
Absolutely.
All right, race number 8 takes right off the top. It is the Del Mar Handicap, a grade 2. It is presented by the Japan Racing Association. First, $250,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. There are 12 starters, and your morning line favorite is number 8. Ashley Loves Sugar is at 3-1. So, who do you love?
I'm actually gonna. I don't want to be a chalk eating weasel, but I kind of like Ashley Love Sugar a lot in this spot. Third time off the layoff, she's in the best form. It looks like of everybody in this field. I think today's race is the target for this horse for the Del Mar meet until they ramp up for the attempt to try and beat the Euros in the Breeders' Cup turf at 1.5 miles. This is as long as they go at Del Mar. 1 mile and 3/8 is 11 furlongs. And I think this is really the target that they chose to try and get this get a graded win here. She's got a couple of nice works, especially the work on August 6th in 59 and 3, 6 best of 85, and she's won going longer than this. So the only thing I think might be a problem is that it's too short for her. But she's been in the money her last couple of stakes tries at this approximate distance, so I don't think there's really any issue for her. And I just think she's going to be the best horse. I think she's going to get the right trip. I think Gary Stevens is going to do the right thing by her, and I don't see much more than this being a 2 to 3 horse race. I did want to mention somebody who I kind of like underneath, who I might play in the exacta in case the other favorites fall on their face, and that's the 3 Wanstead Gardens. Gelding loves Del Mar, 3 for 6 at the track. He's won at 11 furlongs before. He had a solid drill on August 12th, and one of the meets leading riders, Sal Gonzalez, picks up the mount. So if anybody can come for a long shot and get a piece, and maybe if you want to use somebody underneath Ashley Love Sugar, it would be the 3 for me, Wanstead Gardens with Sal Gonzalez. So that's my analysis of the Del Mar Handicap. Ray, what say you about the Del Mar Handicap today?
Well, in this race, I have a number of selections here. I'm going 5 deep, if I can. I'm going to start off with number 4, Metaboss. He's more in line 4-1. Winner of his last optional claim, 62,000, 9 wins of 2, which qualifies him for the 3BG angle. Comes off the pace, looking to relax and stretch out with the target. He's got Berahano and the Yamato hot combo of 20%. He usually wakes up at Del Mar. He's on 2 races. He got 1 win, 1 second. So hopefully he'll wake up today. Number 3, you mentioned One Star Gardens. I like him also. Second choice. He's 12-1. He improves. Most of it, he gets better as the distance gets longer. He's actually 3 for 6 at Del Mar. 3 out of 4 lifetime wins. And he's another 3BG angle horse. He's the winner of the options 8,000. And he moves up in class with Sancho Gonzalez, who's really riding well there. He's up there in the jockey standings. Number 7, Flamboyant. He's 7-2. He had a good third in the Eddie Reed. He raced in Dubai in a $6 million turf race, going a mile and 8. Winner of 2 great events. Sam Gabriel. Pace type, so track profile fits him. I do like the horse, Ashley Love Sugar. Probably the post-time favorite. Gary Stephen rides for Peter around the lead, pack turn for home. And for long shot, number 1, Belisarius. Got the rail. He should be in good position. He's got some speed. He led most of the race in the 2-mile Belmont Gold Cup. So he succumbed for the last few furlongs. And Junior Alvarado's in for the East Coast to ride him. First time Peter Miller works at 22%. All right, Rich, we got to say about the Del Mar Handicap.
Let's see here. In the Del Mar Handicap, I ended up settling on the horse actually who I thought was going to be the chalk. He is the number 1 in the prime power here. And I went with a very classy horse that's named Flamboyant, trained by Patrick Gallagher. He's ridden today by Flavian Pratt. Again, coming off a layoff, you see here Patrick Gallagher is 25%, second off the layoff. This horse was absolutely in sharp form last year. In October, right into January, February of this year, Flamboyant was the top older male quarter horse in Southern California, for whatever that's worth. Okay, so he had 1, 2 in a row, and they sent him to Dubai for the mile and 8. He was in that Dubai World Cup, the G1. Didn't exactly disgrace himself. That's a tough race. You see Euro Charlene. We see our friend Trister was there in that race that was there. And then he came back and maybe suffered a little bit of that Dubai bounce, although I don't any longer talk about that. I don't believe that anymore after what Frosted did. And just finished 3/4 of a length off from Midnight Star, Ashley Love Sugar. Again, that was a really tough race as far as just having the 9-horse field there. So I did settle on the closer here, Flamboyant. I am on number 7. Just wanted to comment, with Joe bringing it up before him. I thought there's nothing wrong with being a talk eating weasel. You guys know I eat a lot of talk. My second choice in this race, if I was going to go ahead and fill in with the second place, Ray already kind of caught him. It is a very talented 4-year-old. So this guy was on the Derby Trail last year, Metaboss. Trained by Phil D'Amato. Rafael Bejarano rides him. These guys, they lose 62% of the time of their races. Or if you like the better side, they win 38% of the time you put them together. D'Amato's a master. Bejarano on the turf, and Metaboss of the younger horses in this race really shows me that he could be the most talented. He came back off of a little layoff here in July in an optional 62.5, and again, this is one of our friends, Perfectly Majestic. We've been handicapping this horse, and that's calculated that he beat in that last race like that. So do not toss out Metaboss in this race. He is talented enough to beat this field. I went 7-4. I believe Joe, top pick is the 8, Ashley Love Sugar, and he's got the 3 underneath. And Ray's got his keynote ticket. So Ray's got the 4 on top. I believe he went with Metaboss as his top choice. He's got Wanstead Gardens as his second backup choice. He's also got Flamboyant. He's got Ashley Love Sugar, and Belisarius as his defense.
Lotto.
Yeah. 383417847. One of those broke guys should hit, folks.
Whatever your phone number is, just play it.
Yeah, there you go.
Play all of your numbers in your phone number.
All right, here we go. On to, and let me bring myself back to the camera so you guys can at least see me every once in a while. I get that feedback every once in a while from our racing fans who do intellect me. All right, we're on to the one that we're all here for, right? This is race number 9. It is the Pacific Classic, the $1 million DVG Pacific Classic. No doubt, it's a grade 1 for 3-year-olds and upwards. There are 9 starters in this race. The favorite is, and I asked this question at the beginning, he is my favorite horse. If I had a time machine and I had an unlimited amount of money, I would go back in the past and I would take California Chrome. I grew up loving. I was trying to think of it a little bit earlier today. The horses that I kind of grew up loving and all that. And up until recently, if I would have been Zenyatta, I would have gone back and got the great racing mare. But Chrome captured my heart a couple of years ago, and he's actually filled my wallet these last 3 years. So there's no way I couldn't go without Chrome. Again, 9 starters. Your morning line favorite, California Chrome. He's at 8-5 in post number 1. And up first in the Classic is Mr. Torado. Ray, who do you like in the TVG Pacific Classic? I will bring up to you. Don't forget who's watching.
Well, I do like number 1, California Chrome on top. He's 8-5. He's the one to beat. He's 4-4 this year with the Dubai World Cup. He likes to be outside of horses, so the rail isn't that good. So he has to work out a trip. I'm very happy he's back after his dismal 4-year-old season. Victor Espinoza is back aboard a regular pilot. Yes, we're going to go for the Chrome. I think he's going to do it today. He's in tremendous form. He'll work it out. He's the horse to beat. Of course, I got to mention Beholder. The only thing about Beholder I noticed, the last loss to Stellar Wind has made a difference in how I saw this race. Last year, she was winning by 7-8 lengths, and now she's barely winning these races against the same horses, same races. She did beat the boys last year in the Pacific Classic. She has a better draw this time, and she can sit outside of California Chrome and Dortmund. So she's my second choice. Dortmund, you can't discard him if the race falls apart. He's a great horse. If any of the top 2 slip, he wins by 3. Bafflin's going to keep on against these good horses, and the jockey is to Bejarano because Stevens has Beholder. So those are my 3: California Chrome, Beholder, and Dortmund. Joe, what you guys say about Pacific Classic? And remember, we still came home in that race, and I was out there. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, I want, before I get into my analysis, I want to make sure we're all aware. Ray, do not discount Stellar Wind. She is a very good horse. Don't discredit Beholder because she lost to Stellar Wind by a half a length or a head. Rich and I were there for that race, and Stellar Wind beat her on the square, no question about it. And you got to give Stellar Wind her credit. Don't discount Beholder for that performance. Stellar Wind earned that. Beat her, like I said, beat her on the square. So make sure you give her credit. But as far as the Pacific Classic today, the draw makes this race much more. It's if the race was any more compelling before the draw made it even more compelling, considering where these horses would prefer to be in this race, in this spot. And I don't think California Chrome wanted to draw the rail, obviously, but that's where he is, and Beholder is in the middle, and Dortmund is. It's funny because I picture the draw as going, okay, Dortmund's going to have the rail, Dortmund's going to be inside of Beholder, Beholder's going to be outside of Dortmund, and then California Chrome's going to be outside of all 3, because that's just the way it seems to have worked out recently. California Chrome always seems to get the outside draw and always seems to be outside. Didn't work out this time. So this is a much more interesting jockey race among the top 3, because, and I've heard it said before, that they all kind of have the same style. They all kind of want to be on the lead. They don't have to be on the lead, but if they get the lead, that's fine. And I think the draw kind of forces California Chrome's hand. I don't know that he's going to want to sit in behind Beholder, and let Dortmund sit outside of him and trap him in that box. he's going to have to work out a trip somehow. Fortunately, he has 10 furlongs to do it, and he's the most proven at 10 furlongs among the three. So he's my top choice. Again, everything Ray says about him is true, and he's the most proven at 10 furlongs to me. I don't really think he's got much to prove. He's already the richest horse in training. And I don't know that he was really 100% cranked up for that last race. And maybe a mile and a 16th wasn't exactly the distance they wanted to run him. I mean, they had to get a prep into him somewhere. He's better at longer distances than Dortmund is. And that's my big question about Dortmund is we haven't seen Dortmund do anything beyond a mile and an eighth. Will that extra furlong catch up to him? We don't know. We'll see today, and it's grade 1 company. The same thing that happened last year against American Pharoah twice. He got drilled in the Preakness, maybe because of the sloppy track or something else might have happened. He was okay in the Derby, not bad. He didn't get embarrassed at all. But I think he's got questions about anything past that 9 furlong marker. And against the grade 1 company he's facing today, if he answers those questions are over. He'll get a mile and a quarter. The question is, can he win at a mile and a quarter? You can't go past the big 3. It's really hard. I'm not necessarily saying I don't like Beholder. I'm not sure that she beat much in this spot last year. Yes, I know Opportunity was in the race. And Opportunity has a knack of finishing behind the top class horses. So I'm just not sure she's going to beat California Chrome. I think she'll probably finish ahead of Dortmund, and she might beat Dortmund, but I'd go with California Chrome here, and I want to throw in an underneath horse just like I did in the first event, just in case one or two of the favorites don't come up. I think Hard Aces has a chance to make the board at 15-1. He's going to be a little bit closer to the pace than he was at this time last year. If you notice the 2 races that he's had with Sal Gonzalez, he's been a lot closer to the pace. He actually was in front in that mile and a half in the Cougar last time out. So he's going to be a lot closer to the pace. I think he's going to sit maybe in the second flight, and maybe he's got a chance to clock up for second or third. So maybe if you're playing a try or a super, you might want to put Hard Aces in there. And he has a solid drill on the 6th. 47-3, 6 best of 75. So I think he's got a chance to make the money. But really, I don't want to say it's a 1-horse race. California Chrome, as Ray said, is the horse to beat, and I would be okay with singling him on a ticket if we had to go deeper in other legs. So he would be the choice for me. So I'm going to hand it off to Rich. Rich, I know California Chrome's going to be on your ticket. Is there anybody else you're going to include?
I can't even imagine that anybody's asking that question at this point in time. So I wanted to bring in for the fans.
I have to.
Here's some of Rich's toys and like that. So obviously, here's my favorite horse ever, and here's the horse that you replaced down here. This is Zenyatta's bobblehead doll, and of course, Bob's got a horse in here, so I'm sure he's shaking his head at me right now, thinking, "Rich, come on, you can pick Dortmund." But
he's got 2 horses in there. Don't forget Opportunity.
Let me go ahead and move my toys out here so I can. By the way, that statue of Zenyatta is signed by my son.
Nice.
All right. So it would be impossible at this point in time for me to go against anyone. The fact of the matter is, California Chrome, he's been there, he's done that, and we have the T-shirt to prove it. Okay. So this is the best horse in the country. He is quite possibly, as a matter of fact, I'm not going to say quite possibly, he's the best horse in the world. He's not going to get beat today. I honestly love Beholder. Me and Joe went and saw the horse. I've called her the queen for years and things like that. She's an absolutely fantastic race mare. Dortmund has a special place in my family. I can tell you that both of my sons root for that horse, no matter what when he comes up. He was the 2015 Santa Anita Derby champion. And in the Sharp family, the Santa Anita Derby champion is our horse every single year. So we absolutely love Dortmund. Unfortunately, California Chrome was the Santa Anita champion, the Derby champion the year before, so he got to our heart just that quickly. I really just don't see how either Dortmund or Beholder are going to take down the champ today. He's at Del Mar. At one point in time, Trevor Denman, one of the great race callers of all time, called California Chrome California's heartthrob. It was right in front of me and Joe over there at Del Mar when he won the Del Mar Derby 2 years ago. And that's exactly what you're going to see today. Beholder has an army of fans, and they're going to get dwarfed today by the California Chromie. So I would single in this race. As competitive as the race it is, as much as I like Dortmund for an opportunity in this race, and I do think that Dortmund has a chance of upsetting Chrome in this race. He is that good. I'm going to be singling on the number 1 horse, California. Go ahead, everybody. Pick up your jaws. You guys must have been shocked.
Yeah, I got to get up off the floor, Rich. I'm amazed.
So on Rich's here, I've got a single 1 under Ray. Ray, did I have you down with the 1? I think I've also got Beholder on here for you, and I couldn't tell if you went with anybody else.
Yeah.
Just
Well, Dortmund, I'm underneath.
And Joe, I know I've got you with the 1.
Yeah.
I heard Beholder mentioned on yours. I wasn't sure if you wanted her on there or.
No, I'm with you, Rich. I would single Chrome, and like I said, I only mentioned hard aces to make sure.
Yeah, me too.
I got him in as an underneath play. But I mean, like I said, I got to give Beholder credit, and she didn't get beat by some stiff last time. Stellar Wind is a fine race, a fine filly in her own right. And you're going to hear from her later. If somehow Beholder does win today and decides to go on and win the classic, run in the classic at Santa Anita on Breeders' Cup Day, you will see Stellar Wind, and she will be a factor in the Breeders' Cup. I guess what do they call the distaff? I guess now they changed it back last year. Stellar Wind would probably be the favorite in the distaff if they ran the race now without Beholder. So don't discredit her at all. But yeah, no, it's California Chrome for me on top and alone in the winner's spot.
All right, on to race number 10. We started with all the graded stakes. We got all the good stuff up there right in the beginning, and now we got the real competitive, tough races that are coming up. So, race number 10. It is a 1-mile turf race, an optional claimer, $62,500. I like to bring out Rich Perloff from TVG because he's so good at giving you all the conditions that are here. This is for fillies and mares 3 years old and upward, which have never won $10,000 twice, other than maiden, claiming, or starter, or state bred, which have never won 3 races, or put them in for a claiming price of $62,500. You've got 10 starters, and your morning line favorite is number 9, Flamingo Lane at 7-2. Over to you, Mr. Torado. Who do you like in the 62.5 optional claimer?
Well, I'm going to Chalky Weasel, number 9, Flamingo Lane. He remains in the same class and second off the left for Del Mar. Got a good feel for the course last time. So speed, helped for third. Good speed. Can sit nice strip, 2-2 wide, and the summer rides for Peter Miller. I also like number 3, Into the Mystic, 4-1. 2 wins off the left, fights well fresh. First time Pratt at Del Mar, and cuts back to a mile with Pratt Mandela at 21%. A little long shot here, Minister's Adventure, number 5, 10-1 morning line. Been running in some low races, steps up here. Actually, two races with 1 win in Del Mar, 1 second. 9 out of 12 in exactness. He always gives you a good trip. He'll give you his money worth. Garcia Hollendorfer, they're pretty good. And also show speed and she worked out a good trip. So, the Flamingo Lane, number 9, 3. Joe, what do you got to say about this race?
Well, it's funny. I'm not sure exactly what to make of this race. I'm kind of glad we won. I think we need to single on our Pacific Classic ticket with California Chrome because I think we need to go deep. Obviously, if we're going to play race Keno ticket in race 8, we need to go deep in the other legs. And this leg was a little bit of a confusing leg to me, but I decided to go with one horse and one horse that Ray you did not mention, and that's number 8, B Rocket, 8-1. Morning line on this Victoria Oliver filly. And Victoria Oliver is becoming quite a horse person out at Del Mar. I heard Paul LaDuca mention her yesterday, and she's coming out of a stakes race at Indiana Grand, and the winner of that race actually was chasing Tepin around, so it was no embarrassment for her to lose in that spot at 64-1. She's run well and finished close up. At a lower level than this race. If you look, she's been running against non-winners of 1 lifetime, and she's never cleared that. She's never cleared that. But this race is an onwards of 2, so she's running above her conditions. I like that move, and I like the confidence that it shows in the horse. And the horse, if you look at those last 2 drills at Keeneland, she's never worked that fast before. So they're shipping this horse 2,000 or 2,500 miles from Kentucky to California. She just worked on the 13th, a week ago, 2 bullet drills at Keeneland, racing above the conditions. I kind of think they're really confident that this horse has a real good shot to win this spot. So I would take a stand and take the number 8, B Rocket, and single her in this pick 4 ticket. And I love what Rich just wrote on the screen. If you can't see it, I will say it's a scary face from another place. And I think this horse has a big shot in here. And at 8-1, I'm going to the window to bet this horse to win, whether we're alive in the pick 4 or not. But I want to make sure she's on our ticket. So I'm singling here with B Rocket for Victoria Oliver and Drayden Van Dyke at 8-1 on the morning line. I just hope she stays in the race. And hopefully there wasn't any issues with shipping. And just looking at her figures seem to be getting better as she goes along. And like I said, the 2 bullet workouts are really what have me convinced that this horse is doing better than ever, and she's got as good a shot as anybody in this field to take this one. And she's going to be closing late, so if she can get there down the lane, I'll be more than happy to do that. So B Rocket, 8-1 morning line, number 8 in race 10 at Del Mar. Rich?
If you guys have like your magic mirror out today and you look very, very carefully, right behind Joe in line is me standing there getting ready to bet you more. So Joey was covered every single thing that I was going to say. He's already got it. I put in my workload. My backup horse, Ray, already covered it. So I was on Minister's Adventure. I actually liked this horse last year. It's like Joe and I believe we saw this horse last year at Del Mar, Joe. I'm not sure if it was this one or this one, but it was one of these 2 days that you and I at the bar and
if it was Friday night, I'm not sure how much we saw him, but okay.
Yeah, we were there though. We were there. But,
okay, I get it. Okay.
He came off the bench in May, and he was pretty hot. So he won. He won 2 out of 3. He finished second by a length to Autumn Flower, who's a very solid horse. And then be careful while looking at this 11 length, kind of flop that's there, because that's Glory Zapper, and it was only a 4-horse race. It was a bit of an odd thing, and it wasn't on the turf. So moving back. Yep. Good.
We saw her through bloodshot eyes.
Anyway, at least 2 rounds of Fireball, maybe 3 later. So again, I've got the 8 on top. I'm standing right behind Joe with my win bet, ready to bet B Rocket, the scary face from another place. And if I was going to do a pick 4 ticket, I'd probably use these both. I'm going to try and bomb away in this race because I've got such a chalky favorite in the 9th race. I need something to open this up. So I went 5-8 on my pick 4. I believe, Joe, looks like you just singled the 8.
Yep.
And Ray's got the 9 on top. He's got the 3, and then he's got the 5 as a backup or defense.
Taking a stand.
All right. Go ahead. Come back to the racing fans here. And we are on to our finale. This is race number 11. They're going to finish it up with a claiming $25,000 race. It's on the main track going 1 mile for 3-year-olds and upwards. There are 11 starters, and your morning line favorite is actually one of my favorite horses from a long time ago. Number 2, Carlsbad Mountain, and I believe he's at 7-2 on the morning line. And we are going to send it back to Joe. Go ahead and kick us off, and we'll send it home.
Well, Rich, I want to say I don't think having the chalky favorite, I don't know that California Chrome's going to be that chalky. I mean, I'm guessing he'll probably go off at even money. But the fact that we have 3, it looks like we have Ashley Love Sugar's 3-1, but we have 2 7-2 favorites in the races following. So I think this pick 4 is going to pay, even if California Chrome does happen to do what everybody, or at least what the 3 of us expect him to do. So I definitely want to make sure we go deep.
For anybody who's listening, that pick 4s on the days the California Chrome races pay incredibly large for whatever reason. That I have been there on several days when he has won, thinking that he's going to be talking. These pick 4s pay in excess of $1,500.
Yeah, we just need to make sure we have the right long shots in the right spots. This race again was another kind of confusing race to me, to me, it looks like there's kind of a lot of horses who want to be close to the lead, but I actually kind of stand. I think there's one that actually, to me, looks like he's going to be the speed of the speed, and I love the fact that this horse is 20-1 on the morning line, and if go to number 5, Arlington House. This gelding, when you look back at this horse, the horse last ran at Wyoming Downs, and it's really funny because I wanted to mention the comment. The comment said won with authority. Yet if you look at the margin of victory is a nose. I really wanted to take a look at this race, but unfortunately I was unable to find the PPs for it. Actually, no, I found the PPs for it. I was unable to find a replay of it. But anyway, I actually kind of looked at it in a different light. I looked at it almost like if he won with authority, isn't it kind of more like a paid workout? So basically, okay, great. The horse worked 6 furlongs in 109, and basically it wasn't more. I mean, it was obviously a competitive race because they bet, and the horse was 6-5. Not sure how the horse got off at 6-5, winning with authority. But anyway, I just think that the horse is going to be the speed of the speed. And if you look at the race in May in Santa Anita, he was on top early. He gave way, but that race, that optional 40 claimer is above this level, and the horse was able to win a maiden claiming race at Santa Anita for 50 grand. Normally, half the price of the maiden claiming win is where the horse fits. That's 25,000. Well, today the horse is running for 25,000. I'm not exactly sure what to make of the whole thing, but I'm just thinking 20-1 seems to be the right number, and the horse is going to be on the lead. I think he's going to be the speed of the speed. But like I said, I really wanted to see that last race. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a chance to. I just think he's dropping into the right level. And I've seen the trainer before, Brinkerhoff. I think he trains in Arizona, or is it maybe he's in New Mexico? And maybe Rich can enlighten me more about that.
He's a New Mexico trainer, and he's got a little bit of a stable over at Los Altos.
Okay, there you go. The horse has been working at Del Mar. Obviously, look at that work on August 3rd, 58-3. So the horse is going to be forwardly placed. I just don't know if the horse is going to last. At least the drop in class from the 40,000 claimer and the time off may have helped this horse get a little better. And maybe 20-1. I don't think this is the worst stab in the world, and I'd rather be alive to this horse than watch this horse parade home by 5 and be dead. The other horse I wanted to mention was Spud Spivens, the 7, because I think he's got it in his PPs. You can see that he has been able to win from off the pace. It is a quick turnaround for an 8-year-old, but Martin Garcia stays aboard, and I think he's going to be able to sit right off the pace, and might, if anybody overtake, or he might get first run on the closers. I'm not sure that there might be 1 or 2 closers in here who might be able to make some kind of indentation late in the race, but I think to me it's these two, the 5 Arlington House and the 7 Spud Spivens. And one of my big concerns is if you look at Spud Spivens, the all-weather wins. He's won 8 times in his life, and 7 of them are on the all-weather track. He's got 1 dirt win. So that might be a little bit concerning, and because he's only 8-1, if he was 10 or 12, I could live with that. But being that he's only 8, it's a little bit of a concern. But still, 8-1 is a great price, and if you're going to get a price in this race regardless. I can't see the winner paying less than $10. I don't even think the favorite will be less than 7-2. So like I said, I'm going 2 deep, 5 and 7, Arlington House and Spud Spivens in the finale. Ray?
I was looking at number 2, Carlsbad Mountain, to cap off this pick 4. He's actually won already here this year at Del Mar. Looks to repeat. He's doing the track. First time Peter Miller claimed him. He's a good speed for the race, probably be chasing your horse. And moves up from 25 to 20. So he's moving up after claim. Number 10, Gunslinger, I think he already won also in this meet. The horse for the course, probably. Maybe the show wakes him up. He's 2 for 2 at Del Mar. You have horses like that. Del Mar and Saratoga, they usually do well at that track. Other tracks they don't do well, so I see that a lot in Saratoga and Del Mar. Jordan Van Dyke riding well here. I'm gonna bet you a long shot number 9. Jay Sereno drops back to 25,000. He's a long shot. Yes, Santiago Gonzalez. James Cassidy's looking sharp this meet. He's 17%, 529. I think the outside post will help his chances definitely. So those are my horses there, 2, 10, and 9 in the finale. Which we gotta say. Oh, and also I want to say, as far as my other horse, I wanted to mention that my lifetime favorite horse has to be American Fowl too, because I saw him win the Triple Crown. So that's a special one.
All right. Well, Joe already touched on one of the difficulties for the finale here at Del Mar. You guys have seen me do this before. I like to look at the final page. I like to see what types are winning these races. And as you can tell right here, you need to have speed to win a 1 mile race at Del Mar on the dirt. 70% of these winners are going to the E and E types. You get 50%. It's kind of a small wire-to-wire percent. So it seems like it's easy, right? Just find the E and the EP types. And then you go down here, and as my buddy Joe pointed out for you, well, maybe not quite so easy after all. Since every single horse in this race, this is going to be a cavalry charge, and by the 8th pole, somebody should be blowing the bugle. All right, so on to Rich's pick here. Ray kind of covered it. My top pick actually is the Bill Spar pick, and Ray didn't say his name right. It's not Gunslinger, it's Gunslinger. He is fast. He's got early speed. I think he is speed of speed here in this race. They brought him back here in July on a 1 mile dirt race. It was a 6-horse race, and he won by 7 1/4 lengths. The horse has got some serious talent, and he's got some serious speed. So, Gunslinger was in fact my top pick. I like Bill Spar a lot. One of my favorite kind of backdoor trainers. Him and Drayden should make a good combination here. And going into the finale, this was my top pick. My second pick, if I'm not mistaken, also you guys did not get, and that's the Hollendorfer horse. So Jerry Hollendorfer. By the way, for the fans who are out there, my son this week got engaged, so this is also a little bit of an inside tip. But Missing Groom from Tommytown Thoroughbreds is bred and owned by Tommytown, so I kind of like that angle as well. The Dwarf, you got to watch out for the King. All of his numbers in here are good as far as this kind of a race is concerned. If you've heard me before, I'm into forgiveness. So if you're willing to forgive this last race with Martin Pedroza aboard, where he finished 23 lengths off the lead, bit off the rail, as you see here, for a horse who likes and has early speed, something happened here. He did not get his normal start out of that 4-post. Other than that, normally this horse is up there on the lead. I think the Dwarf is going to have him turned around and back ready to racing today. Him and Mario Gutierrez, well, you flip a coin when you put those two together and things like that as far as how they hit. And I went 8 and 10 in the finale. So I've got Missing Groom, I've got Gunslinger. I think if we had room on the ticket and we need the chalk for whatever reason and things like that, I did think that Carl's Bad Mountain had a chance. And I did like, despite the fact that he's coming in from Wyoming and things like that, I did actually like a little bit the horse that Joe detailed a little bit earlier. I'm not crazy about that jockey pick. That Val Brinkroff went here. Jamie Theriot is a solid jockey and things like that. He just does not have a high win percentage here at Del Mar. He's not one of the top jocks that's there. Ray, I don't know if you know this. You and I have bet this horse Arlington House. You and I, when we were handicapping together, I know we've been on Arlington House.
Oh, yeah.
Rich went 8-10. Ray went 2, 9, 10. And Joe is 5-7 in the finale. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right. Let me bring up our template here, and we will get started on the fun part of putting the combination together.
5 by 9 by 12.
5-1, but 5 by 1. By all. I got it.
You got it.
Mm.
All righty. I gotta tell you, for Joe and myself, or speaking for myself at least, like that, this is going to be one of the most exciting days of racing.
Oh, we should mention Songbird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why Mike Smith is off all mounts, in case anybody really did not know. because Mike Smith is at Saratoga to ride Songbird in the 10 furlong Alabama today.
Oh, there you go.
Alabama.
Should pretty much be, just based on what I've seen, maybe Go Maggie Go is the only one who's got a chance to beat her. I'm just not sure I can see it.
To stay within the pick.
I can see her at 1-5 pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
But you know what?
It's horse racing.
They all lose at some point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. I'm seeing in our initial race, race number 6, I'm seeing consensus here. I see the 3 and the 8. And I also see the 7. So I see Richard's 7 in there. And I think if you have room, I think both Ray and I were both on the 4 with Metaboss as well.
Yeah, 4.
Down to race number. Oh, I think these 3. And race 11. All right. So up on race number 9, I see the 1. And do we need
just
to
put an X in that box? You don't need any more than that.
Right.
We already know.
1A.
And we were done with that race. All right. So we were
Rabbit.
Yeah. No debate about that race.
Where's the rabbit? 1A. 1X.
He doesn't need a rabbit.
3.
Show his closing style.
No, he doesn't need a rabbit. He doesn't need to be a closer. He's gonna be fine where he is, as long as he can. Like I said, I think he's gonna use some. He's gonna use some speed today, and I think he's gonna at least hold that rail position as much as he can, unless somebody decides to go 21 and change and 44.
You don't think you see him sitting in the pocket, maybe second?
No, because then he's got to make sure he can get out. I mean, he could sit in the pocket, but what if Beholder and Dortmund don't tire and he never gets through?
He's not going to sit in the box. I mean, from that rail.
I don't see it. Yeah, I think he's either going to drop back and go outside, or he's going to use his speed and hold the rail.
Yeah.
I think I had a feeling just whoever drew the inside is probably going to be on the lead here. And I mean, he's done it before. This isn't anything new to them.
Yeah.
And I think as long as he breaks well, he's going to the lead.
I will say this, and I've seen this before with the 2 of these horses before. Like that. I actually think that Dortmund, and in particular because of his size, he's a much bigger animal and things like that, and he has that kind of pace to get up there on the lead and things like that. I'm not sure that Dortmund can yield, from the lead, and I have a feeling that Victor might do something like use his speed to get out, and then let Dortmund take, the lead around him, and he'll try and circle around him at that point in time.
Well,
I think, like I said, Dortmund is he's a very tough horse to keep back. His speed can carry him right to that.
Well, the question then is what happens to Beholder? I mean, I think if that were the case, and I think Beholder would let Dortmund go to the lead and sit outside of him. But that's the problem with California Chrome is he'd have to work his way out in between somehow or around Beholder.
No,
that's why to me it's such an interesting jockey's race more than anything else, which makes it even more compelling to me.
Like I said, I just don't see. I do not see Dortmund backing off. I see Dortmund making sure that he's on the lead. He has that type of speed and like that, and he's that type of horse. He's the biggest animal that's in this field and things like that.
Oh, so, yeah, I remember how he's a huge boy. He's a big boy.
He will force his, and I have a feeling he will force his way. And if Chrome tries to, like we were saying, hold the rail and things like that, I have a feeling he'll be caught in the speed. Him and Dortmund will hook each other, and they will go. If he decides to do that, I don't think Victor Espinosa is gonna fall for that ploy today and like that. I believe he might let Dortmund go right by him. Once he gets him out there. I've seen this before. Chrome comes out real fast. He forces the other people to use their speed as well and things like that. And then he just kind of sits there and says, "Okay, got you where I want you."
As long as he can get around Beholder, then that will work.
Oh. All right, so here we go. We got 3, 7, 8 in the Delmore Handicap. We got just Chrome in the 9th race. I've got 3, 5, 8, 9 in race number 10. And in the finale, which just came into like a train wreck here, I've got the 2, the 5, the 7, the 8, and the 10.
Ray also mentioned Jay Serino too, the 9, if I remember right. Let's see, the 3.
Yeah, I've got
4.
that. I put all of our A picks on here, so I've got the
Okay,
5,
3,
the
4,
the
5.
2, the 8, the 10. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a $30 ticket. 3 by 4 by 5 by 1.
Yep.
Mhm. That looks good.
Looks fine to me.
Yeah, no, like I said, I have played pick fours by Joe. You've been standing next to me when I read
Yeah.
out those 4-letter curse words like that the day that we've seen Chrome and things like that. I have seen California Chrome win his race, and the pick four paid $1,900. I've seen it pay. As a matter of fact, look at the last the day that him and Dortmund took the San Diego Handicap. That pick four that day paid $1,700 with California Chrome winning.
Okay. That being said, can I make a suggestion? And maybe I don't know if we have any time. Do we want to add Metaboss in race 8? And the only reason I say that is because I want to be alive to Chrome, and I'd rather go deep in that race and deep in the other races. It become a $40 ticket. If everybody's comfortable with that, I would just as soon add the extra horse and not watch, because the last thing I want to do is get bounced in the first race when California Chrome is in the next race. And then we're 4 and 5 deep after that.
I'm really glad to hear you say that, because Ray and I both had that horse on our. I think Ray had it on the top line, and I had it very, very high on my second line. I am very high on Metaboss in this race.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking we should let's go as deep as we need to go to make sure we're at least alive to make California, because otherwise, I mean, believe me, I'm going to enjoy watching the race and see how it unfolds and saluting the winner. And hopefully the race is a competitive race and it's a great race, but I really want to win some money based on the fact that California Chrome's going to win this race, and I don't know that you're going to be able to do it. You're not going to do it by betting to win unless you've got 50 or 60K lying around.
Yeah.
So I mean that's why I just want to make sure let's do the $40 ticket. Let's go as deep as we can and see, if he wins, let's turn it into a pick 3. And
fine, yeah.
Come what may.
Yeah. No, for the connections of California Chrome, if they're watching right now, help us change the name of this show today. Okay.
three less broke guys.
Yeah.
3 chromies.
Three guys who can afford dinner. I mean, what do we need? My daughter's got a huge dental bill that just came in, so I'm like, okay, I kind of need a lot more than.
Oh boy.
But anyway, real life notwithstanding. So okay, so let me just make sure I have the. Can you put the template back up, Rich, so that I can?
Hang on one second. I'll go right back.
3, 4, 7, 8, 1, 3, 5, 8, 10 in race 9. Oh, 3, 5, 8, 9. Okay.
3, 5,
And then
8,
the last leg is 2, 5, 7, 8, 10. Okay. Awesome. I will put that in as soon as we're done. I'm wondering if anybody has time before we go off the air to check scratches, or if we just want to end the show there and tell everybody, hey, check.
Yeah, I was checking them as we went as we came on the air and things like that. So I got my phone here. I didn't see anything else.
Okay, well, considering that first post is 2 o'clock, it may not be another hour or two before official scratches come in.
That's what I was thinking.
So at least for the right now, we're going to play this ticket as is, and Rich and I will obviously be at the track, and we'll communicate with you, Ray, if we need to make any kind of changes to the ticket itself, and then maybe Rich and I will do some tweeting from the venue itself.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
And see. Tweet some pictures and see all the pretty ladies dressed to the nines today, as they usually do on both opening day and Pacific Classic Day. But again, I'm digressing. So, Rich, why don't you take us home?
All right.
Enjoy. Guys, enjoy it.
those of you who are watching, if you enjoyed the show, we will be back together again next week when we get together to take a look at another exciting card. Again, we're in the summer sweet spot, so we're going to be back at Saratoga next week. It is the Travers Stakes. All right, gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you. Actually, not tonight, it's this morning. For doing this, Ray Corrado, I am Rick Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
Have a great day.
Have a good day. Enjoy, guys.